quiet now, but soon, BC Place will be at the center of a global spectacle.
The World Cup is coming to Vancouver.
We are literally hosting 30 to 40 Super Bowl equivalents in the city of Vancouver over a month-long period.
Well, more than 250,000 people are meant to be packing out this stadium next summer, and a lot of work has to be done before kickoff.
Chris May, General Manager of BC Place. So we're adding 3 new passenger elevators, we're upgrading a lot of washrooms, we're adding gender-neutral facilities, we're doing some great upgrades in our locker rooms. So we're adding individual showers, we're adding a better set of facilities in our locker rooms for our teams and visiting teams. I think at the stadium specifically, where a lot of the capital upgrades are happening, you're going to see a much better guest experience for people, whether that be accessibility, whether that be better entrances or that type of thing. And for the business of BC Place, you're going to have the legacy of those new spaces, which we can start doing events, driving revenue, and having people in this building every single day of the year because we've got the facilities to support that type of business.
Another upgrade is the installation of a grass pitch, but it won't stick around for long.
You've got an in-ground watering system, you've got a ventilation system, you've got a permavoid layer that goes above that, and then the grass laid on top. So it's quite an extensive and intensive install, and then that will stay in the stadium for a couple of month period, have those 7 games played on it, and then what we'll do is we will take that grass out.
The stadium has come a long way since its construction. In 1983, it opened with a pancake-like inflatable roof and a ceremony presided over by Queen Elizabeth II. Of course, the journey hasn't been free of charge. In 2010, the stadium underwent a major renovation, $514 million for a rebuild that swapped the dome ceiling for a retractable roof. And now, the BC Pavilion Corporation, the provincial crown agency that runs BC Place, says the latest upgrades and operating costs for the World Cup could reach $181 million.
Rain or shine, we hold the line!
At a time of significant labor unrest, Concordia economics professor Moshe Lander says the money could be better spent.
What is being done is not actually even going to outlast the World Cup itself. When you have an indoor stadium, how are you going to maintain that grass going forward? You're not. You're going to rip it out as soon as the games are done, and you're going to go back to that hybrid that's currently used for Vancouver's MLS team. So even there, that's money wasted.
And cost isn't the only concern. The location that was once sold as a strength
if you're Georgia and Granville, it's all of 6 blocks to walk to the stadium.
Is now the focus of criticism.
The way in which it's located is just sandwiched between a whole bunch of highways rather than being maybe some standalone exercise where you could imagine tailgating and a full experience where the match is merely one part of it. And then the event itself, of course, is getting 70,000, 80,000 people in and out in a reasonable time frame. So this is a disaster waiting to happen. You're already talking about kind of a trapped population on a regular Monday to Friday.
BC Place is among 16 stadiums hosting games at the 2026 World Cup. Among the others, Levi's in San Francisco, Gillette in Boston, Arrowhead in Kansas. Many are surrounded by large, spacious parking lots. In Vancouver, BC Place is wedged between apartment towers, bike lanes, restaurants, coffee shops, and across the street, another arena. With the arrival of FIFA, businesses close to the stadium have been told to brace for road closures and restrictions.
Hello, my name is Mehdi O'Ray. I'm the owner of the Pana Formaggio. We are a wholesale and retail bakery. We have 2 locations. One of them is close to BC Place, which is very exciting. My hope is to cover all of my lost for past year. That's my goal because business has been so tough. My main concern is how to get the product here for serving. I really hope the Pacific Boulevard going to be open.
Across the street from Mehdi's Bakery, and just a goal kick away from the northwest gates of BC Place, sits a construction site at 837 Beatty Street. Reliance Properties is redeveloping a century-old warehouse, and as its president, John Stovell, explains,
this is an old, around 1909, 1912, heavy timber and masonry building. In this case, we're going to relaunched this, what was a vacant building for a combination of retail, restaurant, and office over. It's also the only current office building under construction in downtown Vancouver.
And Stouffville expects the building to be complete by February, just in time for the World Cup.
When I think of the number of people who are going to see our building, which will be there looking brand new and beautiful at that time, it far outweighs any disbenefits from some temporary road closures over a period of a week or two. Will some of our tenants who are doing their tenant fit outs be impacted? Probably. But I don't, on balance, I see this as nothing but a positive exposure for the building and for the city as a whole.
Of course, it's not just buildings that will be on display during the tournament. Inside BC Place, Canada's head coach wants fans to notice the scoreboard as well. According to Jesse Marsh, history is proof of what the stadium means to his players.
I've been in charge in 22 games, and we've only played 17 at home, and we've played one at BC Place, and we won 6-0, right? So the point of us being here in Canada and being here in Vancouver is that we will have a huge home field advantage in the World Cup.
In the end, BC Place has always been more than concrete and steel. To some, it's a chance for Vancouver to be seen on the world stage. To others, it symbolizes an aging money pit. And for those working inside the stadium, it's an opportunity to be part of something special.
I almost get emotional about it. The team here at BC Place is world class, and there are people every day coming to work, trying to make this place better every day. We've got a lot to do, and we're counting down the days.
Laurence Watt, CBC News, Vancouver.
Thanks very much to Laurence Watt for that story. And that was the first installment of a brand new series we're launching on the early edition. It is called The Pitch, Vancouver's Road to the 2026 World Cup. And you can follow the series on our CBC Listen app, on our CBC BC YouTube page, and on our podcast. This is Vancouver. We have a podcast that we upload twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays.